Me catch them say some person me drop episode 5 a montro e comment box ni mu say drop episode 5 and I've seen a lot of comments telling me to drop episode 5. So this is the episode 5. If this is the first time you are here and you don't know what is going on, very simple. We are reviewing the Agyapadie book, okay? The Agyapadie book, also known as the Akyem Mafia book. For those who don't know what this book is about, the brief of this book, the summary, and they say, answer na President Akufo-Addo ebedi in the second term, no, a book was released. In fact, Rebecca said the book was leaked. That was the saying. That time no news no babon say no. You say Akyem Mafia book a leaky. Na book no allegedly you say encrophobia wa abemu a wo moye Akyem for. Omo person mo take control of Ghana any MPP party no. Into omo atro hu book a wo mo atro se ne a wo mo be take Ghana abo mo boso. How they will take control of the financial sector, the political terrain, and every single thing, so that so one group no every abamu cry so many years omo na sika ni na bekwa akodi omo ho na still omo control Ghana. Sa book ne ba bonten no Gabriel Tredakon, who is part of President Akufo-Addo Busia ene na aban e ba bonten be ka say eye propaganda eye nkrofo e na ahye da atro e dey say Akufo-Addo ene na Busia edin. Na mama ati say for the benefit of the doubt no ye read the book we have that in mind, and then we are seeing things as how Gabriel Tredakon is also saying it into ye 3 mu no me a me read no me hu ne say book ni propaganda ye twa ntro to Akufo-Addo so, but ye kenkan nyama e wo book ni e hu ne say na so say ye say ye ntro e ye twa to Akufo-Addo ni nebusuanfo so a eba ne saying na book a ye tro no before 2020 enyama bi tumi si e wa ba mu 2021 nanso ne atro book ni mu say omo beye enyama bi tumi si e wa Ghana 2022 nanso ne atro book a ye tro before 2020 no omo si den hu sa nyama ni na nti ye do episode 5 of the book. And ye episode 4 no they talked about how they were going to break the front of MTN senia omo nso ebeba be take over, how they were going to omo bobo nkrofo bi to say Kennedy Japan, how they were going to wipe him away from the MPP, how ombe yusuno no mo atunegu omo bo nkrofo bi din to say John Buedu senior no so ombe yusuno no mo atunegu and all that. What you say nti baby asisi aye do episode 5 no, we are taking it from the Rollins factor. They had a plan in the book for Rollins. That time no na JJ Rollins or TRC. JJ Rollins was still alive, but they had a plan for JJ Rollins. Now let's read from Rollins factor no, but there are more things in this book. Say quite interesting, you know. Let's read. I see the Rollins factor. I see although not a party member, he has become very useful too in the scheme of our affairs. Nana must be encouraged to maintain his relationship with him and ensure a firm grip of him to avoid any damaging loose talk that may affect our chances. So far, his public comments have been favorable. Now, around that time, no here na Rollins or bo NDC say ya no bo NDC. It's a book ni no asemo mo kan say oh Rollins dey won kan MPP ho. Nanso o here say ne ya wotumi kasa no eboa MPP pa because okasa bia na obo NDC obo no an party echi. Tie ya na ade a eboa MPP. Inti at that time ne dey Akufo-Addo on maintaining the relationship. It only when say relationship be Akufo-Addo any Rollins school mu no and no dey san nyama neighbor. Inti Akufo-Addo should maintain the relationship with Rollins na eboa mo. Oye no ka said the NDP led by Nana Kunedu must be assisted to undertake its activities and to ensure that they file and contest the 2020 elections. It is obvious that the whatever votes will be garnered by the NDP will be votes that would otherwise have gone to the NDC. Inti a no more hache plan say Rollins NDP party no e was say MPP e so mo asene and e was say wo mo enye MPP per se by was say omo Akyem Mafia for no e so party na asene e boa party no e make sure say party no be contested for the elections. Does it surprise people say and there's also Bempa, who was a member of the NDP, is now a communications officer of the MPP. And when your appointment kesiye wo MPP mu a, and according to Hope Senadoye no, ono ene so husu bempa ne to me Emma national security kra ekoko mafia nkrofo allegedly. Is it mere coincidence? Because in the book no, or say MPP no, NDP Nana Konedu party no, ombeso omo asene. No munim say obi obeto ama NDP bia no, na ade a na nka nipa ko no beto ama MPP. It doesn't make. Do you understand what is going on? Does it make any sense? MPP ni bia obeka say no one tiase because na A+ and same wa work no. So more and the year campaign ma Ekufuado. So that time no so usu bempa ye NDC ni. Aba ne say no ko dane NDP ni a ende onu mu aba benya post for MPP mu. But in the book they were saying say yen support you mo. Do you think say Nana Konedo Agyapadie Rollins no wo nim say be ye koto aba 10,000 votes kran wonya? Do you think say no wo nim? But why was she still contesting? But in the book na somewhere no said they should support omomwa in the background because say one vote skrana sa vote na kebeko NDC ho. Other minor parties. Or say further to this, it is ultimately important to ensure we help reactivate and encourage the minor parties to contest. Many of their supporters have an antipathy towards the NDC, with some financial inducements to their polling agents. We could construct an understanding with them to shore up the number of pro-MPP polling agents at the polling stations. It is non-negotiable to ensure that LPG, GUM, Ekiadonko, and GCPP are all cleared to contest. Depending on the outcome of our next negotiations, the following parties could be eliminated by the Electoral Commission if they fail to agree to our proposition: Maverick Kofi Gan or Kofi Kranten Akwesi Odike of the United Progressive Party, Kwesi Busumburu of the People's Action Party, New Vision Party United, Renaissance Party, and UFP, and others who may also file for the CPP, PNC, and possibly APC. They may be allowed to contest in order to shield the EC and our government of any wrongdoing. Inti hase no hear the wire. Wabo parties be din say parties nkete no. Yen komo musika. Na omon support yen. Omo abobo din atre se womo tre se LPG, GUM, Ekiadonko, omo ni na wo say ye claw mo no mo contest. It was around 2020 and Ekiadonko sha ase say Obo Mahamechi can se mafa Mahama ho because first ne Ekiadonko wo Mahame's camp na owo Mahama ne camp no ne Mahama na nam emra Mahama ye president no 2020 ye koto aba na Ekiadonko ateni against Mahama kan se mitia Mahama. It's in the book say yenko hu sankrofo ni emo musika no mo mra mbeka ye ho no mo nye underground dealings in mine. Is that what happened? It's a question we are all asking. Into omo no omo ka say parties ni bi no Ekiadonko mo ne other ones no say omo ampene ama me support yen ya enya de a ye bema EC no ama omo a contest. But ye ne sana ye sheda ma EC no sanso ma independent for no contesting ye koka ni aka say oh na say independence for no ya ma omo kwan ti die ntia na mo ka say mo na ya ma mo kwan no na tre say EC no e na oni MPP ahyehye ho. Who say ade no ye 5 ene ye nna na ye ko na say ye 5 na wo boy ye 5 ni na egu ene de ye betumi aka twa EC ne say you are being biased. But say ye 5 ni ye ko na wo yi ba ko efrim wo yi mienu efrim ni ye ko kan e be ka say oh na say EC no ye biased ade ntia na wama momu miensa e ko a wo yi mutu no na twa say mutu no na mo asem wo mo ho waje ase. So that was the plan. Now what's the religion and chieftaincy? Now they've talked about taking control of the economic sector. They've talked about taking control of the telecom sector. They talk about taking control of political parties, including both the NDC. And now they are talking about taking control of religion and Christianity. Until there was also a massive plan. Until Obia Debia was sorry I walk and they said maybe by now so forth to me kasa wagana pansisia wa muntu min kasa. Yen he say book nun semwa wa mo kan ye. say the tactics be a won be use e take control of insofo any ahemfo no. Did it happen? And no hunting in the Ghana insofo to mean kasana na. I don't know. Yeah. As the Ghana population is largely made up of Christians, we must bear that in mind in all our activities. It is therefore essential for the government to take an interest in the relationship between the government and the church. It was a Ghana for Dodwana ye Christopher. It was some of the two mutrim. So was a woman making sure. So we may take interest. In sorry no emu. I say it is further evidence that a large number of discerning Ghanaians are not comfortable with the proliferation of mushroom churches and their activities. This is visible in the large support and commendations received by Kennedy Japan when he declared war on the church. Government can easily capitalize on this and quickly come forward with a legislation to regulate these churches. Immediate examples include Rwanda and will bring an end to the vulnerable women who have suffered years of abuse at the hands of these mushroom pastors. So much as here cannot and no can say Ghana for need dance because at time na Kennedy Japan shall say all bones of which you know. I say we should support a Ghana for the Kennedy Japan. Not to say Ghana for need dance says one man churches no and kofu be bringing in Jehun. There was so one more word no more share and share. One more the breast our one man churches na to say send ya Rwanda for iron. Or see these issues notwithstanding, it is important to identify and profile some church leaders within the country as they seem to perpetrate an agenda against our political tradition. They must be properly contained and muted. Critically, Duncan Williams. His love for money is not in doubt, and material inducements and commercial gains make him vulnerable to market incentives. This means that he has a good nose for the highest bidder. His relationship with leading members of NDC is an open secret. It is therefore important to encourage the EC chair to build better relations and frequent his place as discreet as possible to seek spiritual directions and make firm pledges of her commitment to a transparent election. Knowing very well that he will further reassure the NDC establishments of the honesty of the EC system, this will give them the comfort we need in order to tame a potential NDC aggressive posture towards the EC. That's what can I say? Also for back one or more planning against Duncan Williams, also for Penny Duncan Williams. Now Duncan Williams no secretly no, almost say or no ni NDC for was Duncan Williams no on the NDC for was pan. Na the omube yusu and say ombe yusu EC no. Ati say Jean Mensa. Besha dama Jean Mensa ye na adwen say wo Duncan Williams for spiritual guidance. Because I say Duncan Williams nenso no oyobi a wo pesika or your sofo de nanso ye hwe a wo pesika pan wo pesika ni ahonya de inti no ye nhye dama Jean Mensa nko ne ho for spiritual consultancy na bibi no nhye da nye so obompa ya ma no inti sa relationship no koso a NDC for sha say omo ka say Jean Mensa no onye na Duncan Williams no a ono ne NDC for wasa no ono anka sabe ka tre NDC for say Mr. Jean Mensa no me na me bompa ya ma no we ni papa o wa adwempa oba na me bompa ya ma na uti nsem bia wo kana o ye ni papa onwia mo because NDC for enyanya adwen say Jean Mensa onwia wo mo a that is when they can execute their plan. And you know, that was what they wanted to do. And you remember Jean Mensa secretly, you know? And I don't know where there. I just say Obi Oben Duncan Williams never bonte beka. Jean Mensa secretly no okoko sra Duncan Williams ana. Duncan Williams secretly obompa man na. I don't know where there. I just omo eba be confirm. Bishop Charles Ajenasari Sam George Esofono. Also quite visibly an NDC sympathizer who only appears to speak whenever NPP is in power. He must be watched carefully. Our men within his inner circle have done pretty well with accurate briefs, but it is time to adopt an open muscular approach. The respect and esteem with which he is held by other leading pastors may need to be marred by recruiting other high-staged pastors to launch vile attacks in some ingenious ways. However, the president must desist from directly responding to him as advised by our people within his inner circle. So I say, omo ewo MPP phobia. Omo ama owo Bishop Charles Agyinasare, Sam George Sofono, and the MPP phobia one in chain. Omo de bi omo ma MPP phone information. Na omo tremu a ono de abanye boni bia na oka, abanye boni bia na oka. But ma MPP Ekufuado ne nkrofo ne responde. Omo mpe osofo bi na osofo no nso embra mbebo nechi na osofo ne nka entia Agyinasare se Agyinasare no kra no onye sofo pa e na Agyinasare ne kra no oye fake. Ti omo mpe osofo bi na osofo no engu nenimu ase. Basically that's what they said. The omo de beye Agyinasare no. Now, Sam Crunchy Ankra. I say, he is perhaps even more visibly a surrogate of the NDC, who has cleverly concealed this aspect to appear as a national Christian hero. A constant eye watch and monitoring of this man is required with specific efforts to contain his commercial interests, which have been identified. Pastor Mensa Otabil. I say, even though sympathetic to us, information suggests that the closure of Capital Bank has somehow affected his loyalty to Nana. Brother Ken Ofoyate's account of his demeanor on the night before the announcement of the closure of Capital Bank indicates he was not too averse with our decision. The strategic implication of Ken meeting with the pastor and subsequent feedback from his inner circle points to the impression that he may, out of spite, opt for an NDC replacement. Should that happen, it would be seen as a declaration of war by one of our own. We should be reminded that an insider fighting you is more dangerous than the sworn enemy. In any case, he appears to be more aligned with the Kufuor camp. Enti Mensa Otabil or say Mensa Otabil or no omunim so ye MPP ni. Okay, MPP ho. Now so eye Ekufuado aban e na Mensa Otabil ne bank IFN ne Capital Bank no ye gu no. To akyere say answer ne ye begu bank no. Ye soma Ken Ofoyata si wonko hu Mensa Otabil no ne nkasa. To say Ken Ofoyata ko hu Mensa Otabil ne nkasa no ba back no feedback obema ne say enya de ana Mensa Otabil na ne agye ho kra. To say wan hwe yi a sa ne bank no mu egu ni nti no obe opt say NDC mum enye den emra. No say se abontin suni ene wo ko ntokwa de a eno de asemi ni ho. But se wo bia wo ye wa wu nipa ene wo ko ene de ye dangerous. Na Mensa Otabil so mo hwe a oyeku ofiri Kufuor camp. Ati ase nti no e wo se wo mo ye wild no mo mo mi dan so. Also, intelligence efforts should be adopted to rout his church following against his person should he defect. Inti se mo hwana se Mensa Otabil no okoko sesa na okọ back to NDC because he go ne banker also mo make sure say ne church members no ebe hu ne se wo ye nipa bonini as a possible access to his personal assets, business interest and potential relations with some women will need to be explored in finer detail. Inti omo hwe mu hu because wo be hwe mu ehu no ebia wo ye sofo na so ebia no wo girls bi wo baby ebia no ye some business bi ehun te e wo baby to omo nya investigations in fan ho no mo fa information no embra abonte no mo nkipi ti edane dru so opese oyi MPP ma na tre say omo yi some information na eden epie the national chief imam chief imam ni aka ho is a book we deliver through book ni there and ask him to also government must prepare an exit plan for the national chief imam. This has become necessary in view of the fact that the demise of his deputy has created a vacancy. The intense lobbying by the other Muslim leaders should be properly handled in the face of the promises we have made to each of them. Government will need to find a discreet way of influencing the process of the appointment of the national chief imam as well as the deputy. So I say national chief imam no na be di tire eba be free mu. Na be di tire free mu na say aban eye ward no mu bem no mu pe wo bi a oye MPP ni yem pe MPP for no mu surround the chief imam no. and say ya na Ghana for complain say bibi ba o say anya chief imam na ye nkrofo etale ne ho no omo tale ne ho no ye MPP for omo ye say on then and say ya na nkrofo ka ansem no. I say the candidates for this should be well verified party sympathizers who are likely to stand with the party in crucial circumstances, as has been with the current Ashanti region imam. Nana has shown his love. And said the current Ashanti region imam no eno kokotwa ntrofa Mahama ho say Mahama eba mox no shempobwa. And a later video babonti who said that Mahama run empobwa no. So say the current Ashanti region chief imam no ye MPP ni. Ti asem ne bana eye den or support MPP. Inti chief imam no so omonya ne saa. Omon pe MPP phone surround no. Ti asem ne bana mu ye den na chief imam na ye den as support MPP. Ose Nana has shown his love for the Zongo community by creating the Zongo ministry and establishing the Zongo Development Fund. This is both remarkable and historic in the annals of the political history of Ghana. By this singular act, Nana has taken bold steps towards breaking the NDC monopoly of the Zongos. This project is a must if we ever intend remaining relevant within the Zongos. Also, finally, cognizance has to be taken for elevating over 50 chieftains to paramountcy status. We need further elevations of such chiefs in redefining our very statehood, for which the new uncelebrated old powerful kingdoms is to be restored. It is very instructive looking at the broad coverage of Ebuakwa, Kotoku, and Bosome. We must critically guard against any such issues of the JSC Amegashi ruling of 2019. Now, the national situation as regards to the media landscape. Now, they talked about how they'll take control of the media. And it is good for episode 5. In episode 6, we'll talk about the grand plan to take over the media space. Now, media space no. Say no take over media no. Ehona betin sem. But bibi omo edu no. We know mainly no, it was about the chieftaincy and some parts of politics. Okay. Some parts of taking control of political parties and all that. That's quite interesting. Muntre mo your comment box ni mo. Me da say.